Last night, the Sixers trotted out a starting lineup of the following. Gershon Yabusele, Reggie Jackson, Eric Gordon, Ricky Council IV, Kelly Oubre.
Sounds like a solid starting five.
Now, I just want to say this, okay? Because I was active on Twitter about this last night. People were going, whoa, they're hurt. In order not to embarrass the franchise, which is paying you well, or completely cheat a fan base, which is going to show up at that game about 17,000 strong, can anyone have enough selflessness to say, you know what, I'm a little banged up, but I'm going to give it a shot. I got to give it a shot. I'll play tonight. Most of these injuries, these guys that sat out last night, are the nature of one-game type of injuries, rest type of injuries. You mean to tell me that somebody on that team can't look at the landscape of that and go, it's not right for me not to play tonight? Maybe I'm a wishful thinker, but are you kidding me? I just get so annoyed, and I lose my edge.
Yeah, man, I'm out of words. I'm out of it's Ray was down there last night. I mean, Ray, that had to be fun, right?
I was livid. The entire first half.
Now, look, people go, well, they played hard. They made it a game in the third quarter. It became exciting. It's really not the point, okay?
I don't know. A lot of people saying that.
There were a few. The point is that, like, I know athletes have changed in their mindset. I know there's a medical staff that advises them. I'm going, come on, man. It's a one-game injury. Look at what you have to put on the floor. As it turns out, the stars of the game are Justin Edwards and Jeff Downton Jr. I'm going, why do we have to get to that level of embarrassment where you throw out that kind of starting lineup for people who have bought tickets for this game, for this season, for these people, and now have to sell them at $3? All right, I got it off my chest. It's 11 o'clock. You are listening to WPEN and WPEN HD, HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. I have declared this as Nick Sirianni Worship Day. And so we start the 11 o'clock hour with some more worship. Story by Tim McManus, ESPN.com today, goes over the ways that the head coach has tried and attempted and succeeded to connect with his players so as they feel good about being part of the Philadelphia Eagles. First story is about Jordan Mailata saying that Nick Sirianni comes up to him and say, hey, come up and see me in my office when you have the time. And the first reaction Mailata has is, bleep, what did I do wrong? And he gets there, and Sirianni says, have a seat. You're not in trouble. I just want to see how you're doing. How's Dad doing? Because he knew that Mailata's father, Tuipai, had suffered a heart attack on the plane ride back to Australia after going to Arizona to see his son play in the Super Bowl. And there are stories throughout this story that Nick Sirianni sends these little personal notes to people, puts them in their locker, and all that kind of thing. Now, that might not mean a hell of a lot to everybody else, but apparently it means a lot to players. And so when you say they play for him, it's not that they play for him. It's that he makes it feel good about that he knows about their life and is concerned about their life. And, Bill, you talk about that kind of relationship enduring, and apparently that does. So here I am going again to the Sirianni side of it, where I relate him to a bizarro Charlie Manuel.
You're coming around, man. But like that article by McManus is so good, and I encourage everybody to read it on ESPN.com. And Tim will be joining us on Friday like he does every week. Because when he talks about how he connects with Jordan Mailata about his dad, he talks about how Rick Lovato, the long snapper, him and his wife were having some problems getting pregnant. He related to him about that. Milton Williams talked about how when his mom was diagnosed with cancer, Sirianni related to him about that, kept checking in to see how his mom was doing. The personal notes that get put into people's lockers. This is what I have said about Nick Sirianni from the beginning. He's genuine and he's authentic. And that's what pro players want from their coach. Don't be someone you are not. But when you're real and you can connect with people on a real level the way Sirianni does, it does go a long way to getting the best out of your players. And that's why the haters on Sirianni who say, oh, it's just he's got a talented roster. There is so much more to being a coach in the NFL than just having a talented roster. He gets the best out of his players, and it's time that we recognize it. We're lucky to have him as a coach. We really are. It's no longer should he come back or should he not. Fans should feel lucky that we have Nick Sirianni.
We're lucky to have him now.
We are lucky.
We're lucky to have
yeah.
him. There you go. All right. This is where I go, okay. Now we're lucky to have him.
We are lucky. And that's why I
Bill,
said
you're unwavering. He's just dug in today.
Well,
I
listen,
love it.
listen. The reason I'm gloating a little is I put my neck out there a little bit this summer supporting Nick Sirianni when most didn't. You know, most people on the station thought, like Mike, that you probably shouldn't bring the guy back after what happened. And I said, no, I think if you really take a step back and look at the big picture here, there's been a lot more good than bad in his first 3 seasons. And I'll go back to it. That epic collapse that everyone wants to cite to under Sirianni's watch, he was only the 3rd coach ever to go to a Super Bowl and lose both coordinators. And the reason why that was so important is when you get to a Super Bowl and then your coordinators leave, you're behind the 8 ball, Mike, one of my favorite sayings. You're behind the 8 ball in doing the search of who you're going to get in the door. You're not going to get the best crop of coordinators to interview. They lost Fangio last year when Jonathan Gannon pulled the bait and switch on him. They had to go with Brian Johnson. Maybe he wasn't the right guy for the job. There were a lot of factors that played into the Eagles losing down the stretch the way they did, and it would have been a knee-jerk reaction to move on. To Lurie's credit, and Jeffrey Lurie, this is what I think makes him such a good owner. It's the reason why the Eagles franchise is as successful as they are. He didn't knee-jerk. That would have been the easy thing. Make the fans happy. Let's get this guy out of here. He took a step back and said, no, we're going to double down. We're going to bring in good coordinators, and we're going to support the head coach. And now look where we are, 14-3, NFC East champs, playoff win. They're 5.5, now 6.5-point favorites in the divisional round with a matchup against Dan Campbell, hopefully, coming in the NFC Championship.
If there was ever
So much
a
good.
day of sports talk radio specifically made for Bill Colarulo, it's today. Let's go to Josh in Belmar. Josh, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Josh.
Hey, how we doing?
What's up, Josh?
Look, I'm with Bill here. We really are lucky to have Sirianni as our coach. I mean, who out there would we replace him with that could do what he's done in the first, he's been here like 4 years now?
Correct.
Well, I don't know. There's always a guy.
Stop.
There's always a guy. I mean, who else would we? Somebody, some unknown guy could maybe have done the same thing. Who knows? You don't know.
I don't know. Oh, but I really think this, is it weird I'm not even concerned really about the Rams coming up this Sunday? I felt more concerned going into the Packers game than I did this game.
Yeah, I didn't. I think the Rams are going to be a viable opponent here. Now, I think the Eagles are going to win the game, but I think the Rams are going to play harder than the Packers did.
I think, honestly, Saquon breaks 200 again and Eagles win by over 14.
You think he goes over for 200?
I think he goes over 200 again.
Yeah. I'm not seeing that, but I think they'll win the game. All right, Josh, let's go with general knowledge. The audience is up 1-0. Movie characters, this one is. They're from sports movies.
All right.
If I give you the name of the character Rod Tidwell, what's the movie?
Rod Tidwell.
Rod Tidwell, wide receiver.
I got nothing. I'm gonna guess Little Giants.
That's incorrect.
Little Giants.
Rod Tidwell is the show me the money guy from Jerry Maguire, played by Cuba Gooding Jr.
Oh, man. Ray, would you have gotten that one?
Nope, but great movie. Have seen that one.
You have seen it?
Yeah.
Oh. And you wouldn't have got Rod Tidwell.
Watched it once 5 years ago, probably.
All
6
right.
years ago.
Ray, here is your question. Kelly Leak. Baseball.
A League of Their Own.
Incorrect. The Bad News Bears,
Oh,
Ray.
Yeah.
You've
15
seen
years.
that, right?
15 years ago. Yeah.
All right. The stringy, the long hair kid. The only one who could play, really. He was a stud, Kelly Leak. You have that, Bill?
I did not. But
You didn't have it either?
I'm also laughing at our YouTube chat because
What?
when you did the Jerry Maguire, somebody said Nick Sirianni had Bill at hello.
That was the first movie that, what was her name? The actress?
Renee Zellweger.
Adorable in that movie. I go, where's this girl come from?
Was that her first movie? No, she was in.
Close to being her first. She was an unknown playing that part. Wasn't she back then?
Yeah, I guess so. I'm trying to think of other movies. She was also in Me, Myself, and Irene, right? She was good in that.
She was.
That was after the fact.
She was the diary of what's the name, Jones, right?
Yeah, didn't she put on weight for that? Bridget Jones's Diary.
Bridget Jones's Diary.
I think she had to gain weight for that role.
She did. 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show. Nick Sirianni, Worship Day, and General Knowledge Wednesday. Back after this.
It's time.
Hey guys, thanks for checking out our video. If you want more from the Mike Missanelli Show, somewhere on this screen, there is somewhere where you can hit the playlist. Keep interacting with us.